So TES is probably the most well-known website for education in the United Kingdom. It's not just a place where you can search for jobs in education, but it's also a platform which carries news, has community interaction, many resources for teachers. It's a great resource if you want to share or acquire resources from colleagues across the world. And there's lots of other functionality on their website. This is the home page before I log in. And you can see what it looks like. Now I'm already registered. I've been registered with TES probably since I started teaching. So I just log in. And you can see once I'm logged in, I get a different interface. Okay, lots of news, like many websites in education, huge focus on coronavirus, the disruption of learning that's been caused, the reaction of teachers and parents. And it's a fantastic place to go for finding the latest, particularly if you work in the United Kingdom. Now that's something which I should stress, that the overwhelming majority of jobs on the TES website are for jobs in England and Wales, a handful in Scotland, and increasing numbers for Australia with their partnership with Smart Education. So let's get straight to where we're reviewing. This is their job section. And as you can see, nicely, easily sorted from the first page. So let's do the search I normally do. For me, it would be leadership jobs, but I'm potentially really only interested in the international sector. So up here, we have another set of options. So I'll click on international, and then you can go by country, by workplace, position, subject, and then most popular. So for me, I would go to leadership jobs. And as you see, there's quite a lot in Australia right now. Most of the jobs are international. So the Falkland Islands. These are all in Australia. Thailand, Hong Kong, China, and Switzerland. But there's more. And there are numerous jobs from around the world on the TES website. It's probably the most expensive for schools to advertise, but the reach is phenomenal. So you can understand why that is the case. You can actually edit your location selected, which I've already pre-populated. And you can also choose if you're specifically interested in one of these sorts of leadership. And I like this way of sorting the search, that firstly you go to all of the leadership jobs, and then if you want to be a head teacher, you can then hone in on head teacher or director principal. So it means it's more streamlined, which to me is an advantage. So going back to the jobs, back to international, maybe more of you watching are more interested in regular jobs. So we'll do a country search. Let's have a look in Malaysia. Wonderful country. And there's a few jobs, 10 jobs advertised. So English teacher in Kuala Lumpur. Now they always tell you the name of the school, so you can do some background research. This is Tenby International School in Kuala Lumpur. Lots of information about the school, the group they're part of, the role, the package, and other pertinent information. And always with TES, or almost always, you apply directly to the school And the email is here. Send in a CV. They want a passport photo and your references. Now, whether it says so or not, I'd always include a 1 or potentially 2-page supporting statement to introduce yourself and your experiences and tailor it towards the job and the school you're applying for. You may find, particularly during the global pandemic, that lots of people may apply for these jobs, and schools will be looking for people who really want to work for them or their network of schools, their organization or their foundation. Okay, so do make sure that you tailor it. You can use the quick apply section where TES will forward your information to the school. You're still applying to the school. You are not applying through TES. TES do not have recruitment agencies or agents to do this role. So you can put your information in, supporting statement, upload your documents and anything else you want to put. Okay, so some of that's pre-populated with my information. That's what you get. So going back to the job page, I think you can see how it works. It definitely is user-friendly. Then you have a community section where you can look what colleagues from across the sector have been saying. So if you look and scroll down, if you're an IB teacher, you can come in here and find out about jobs and experiences in the international baccalaureate sector. But more pertinent for us is this jobs forum, which hasn't been updated. Oh, it has. It's just got some pins at the top. So you can see a lot is to do with COVID-19 and a lot is to do with how you might be able to get to a country. And teachers can't enter countries at the moment, such as China, Singapore, Vietnam, very restricted in who they will admit to the country. So it's worth checking this out. I think they have a rule where you can't mention the name of the school you're applying for, but at the same time, there's ways around that. People use codes and things like that to circumnavigate that. Now, if you're generally interested in the world of education, they have their devoted news page, which you can see. IB grades is definitely hot news. I think it's been called an IB crisis as a hashtag on Twitter, and many schools are appealing the grades because of the algorithm. Okay, and you can see there's some tips for looking for work in the international school, for international baccalaureate, character education, which is an area which a lot of international schools will be highlighting. So lots of news, lots of articles, and just have a quick look at the resources so you get a flavour for this website, particularly if you're not from the UK and you may be not so familiar. You see there's nearly 1 million resources made by teachers for teachers. It used to be all free. These days it's a paid service as well. But you find some gems. I always find in the interests of collegiality, I do have a preference for teachers and educators who are happy to share without charging their colleagues. We're all working with children. We're all looking for the betterment of education across the world. Now, of course, it can be a nice sideline for some. And in some countries where teachers aren't particularly well paid, it may be actually a way of boosting one's income. So yeah, I have mixed feelings. They have a store and they also provide courses. Now, some of the courses will be specific to international teaching. You can see, to an extent, a little bit like Coursera or similar free platforms. The IPGCE is worth considering if you are focused on the international sector. It's not cheap, but it's a world-renowned program, and you could sign up for it. And then you are eminently employable in an international school. So it's mainly focused upon people working internationally who maybe don't have teacher qualifications. So if you're an international teacher in your own country, in an international school, and you want to extend your employability, or maybe you want to work in another country, it can be worth considering an IPGCE program. You may also find that if you are working in that context in some international schools, your school leadership or governing body or owners of your school may be willing to partly sponsor this course. So it's worth considering. There are other options available through other companies. ECIS, I think in partnership with Teach Away, offer a course where you can get American certification through Hawaii by following a similar program to the IPGCE. So if you're an American colleague watching this, that could be worth checking out as well. Hopefully this has been useful. If so, please like the video so others can see that you enjoyed my presentation. Maybe subscribe to our channel, then that way you'll get notifications of future videos. And also, please utilize the comment box. Share your thoughts, share your experiences of TES and any jobs that you may have got through TES, whether good or bad. And also feel free to compliment me on my video, or maybe be critical if you think I've missed things out or not been fair in any way whatsoever. I'm very open-minded to criticism.